Hello, and welcome to Peeling with Harriet. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today I had to taste, someone asked me if I would fix this for them, so I'm going to fix some Margaret Holmes greens with some baked beans and cornbread and perhaps some salmon. Okay? Bear with me, I've already started most ingredients so that we can move along a little bit faster. I'm going to put in my cornbread and we're going to get started. Cornmeal, and it's pretty much made from scratch, almost. I just need my half cup of water that I had prepared, so bear with me. And we need an egg, one egg, beaten. I've added a pinch of salt, pinch of sugar, one egg, powdered milk, cornmeal, and water. Cornmeal mix, actually. Bake at 400 for 20 minutes. Voila, homemade cornbread. I've already prepared my wrought iron skillet, in this case, my baking pan, with olive oil. I prepared my pan with oil. Since it's a cornmeal mix by McCormick, you really don't need to beat it with the electric beater. Now it is prepared and ready to go into the oven. As you can see, I'm extremely left-handed. I'm a southpaw. Yeah, I don't try to slip up on you. You know which way I'm coming from. I'll let you know I'm a lefty. And now we're ready to put this in the oven, and let's hope it rises a little. Follow me over to the oven as I put it in. Peeling with Harriet. Place it on the top rack securely. Set your timer. 20 minutes will be all that you need. Okay, let's put away the dish. I prefer to try to clean a little as I go. Now, as I try to prepare my salmon, I just use often I'll use the fresh salmon for salmon patties or salmon croquet, but today I'm just using the double Q salmon, and I am going to remove the bones. Some people, namely my mother, enjoyed the crunchiness of the bones in her salmons, but I like to remove the bones from my salmon. I use onion, and I do use seasoned all salt or sea salt. Salmon tastes so good. It's what I call self-seasoning. I'm just removing the bones from the salmon. And we are ready to get started. Again, to hold it all together, I like to use one egg in my salmon. I can use the very same container to beat my egg. Well beaten egg. Season all salt. Little onion blend. And that's just about it for the seasoning. Of course, I want to use a little bit of saute for my onion. Oftentimes I'll use as much as a paper towel roll to prepare one meal because I like to keep things clear as I go. Okay, let's kind of chop the scallion. I'm using scallion here. Can you see it? No, I don't think you can. And I'm going to saute the scallion. Oops, you may have seen that one. Oh, it smells good. Let's saute some of the scallion here. It's just very, very little. So I have the occasion to use a tiny skillet because I'm only sauteing a tiny bit of scallion to put into the fresh salmon. Don't waste any of it. And I'm just going to use a little of olive oil to prevent it from sticking. Original spot there. Here we are. Just to turn and to saute the scallion. When I saute my vegetables, it unlocks the flavor on your taste buds and in your sense of smell. Can you smell it? Can you smell it? Oh, that's good enough. Just briefly sauteing. Unlocking the flavor. We did that. Okay, now we will resume. Are you having fun yet? You know what? I think I want to add just a little bit of pepper. Not much. Little ground pepper by McCormick. McCormick is my go-to seasoning brand. And now I'm going to mix the salmon, but I will use my hand to turn them into fritters, croquets, patties. You know, I like the taste. Really doesn't matter a whole lot what they turn out to be, whether they're going to be fritters, croquet, or patties. I just like the salmon. Oftentimes I bake them. Today I'm going to saute them as well. Now we are ready to put a little heat on the salmon. As my skillet is warming up, I'm going to go ahead and prepare the my steamed Margaret Home greens, and they have a little olive oil, as well as my bush baked beans with no pork, porkless baked beans, vegetarian baked beans. So, of course, you know the vegetarian baked beans don't need any seasoning, anything at all. And my Margaret Homes, I'm using a little bit of broth and a little seasoning salt. Well, I'll use sea salt. Since I use broth quite a bit, I have some prepared right here. So I'm going to pour just a bit into my Margaret Homes steamed greens. My handy accessory drawer. Using a little bit of sea salt here with my greens. A pinch. Well, I'm actually measuring much more than the way I learned to cook. The way I learned to cook, I sat in the kitchen, my mom cooked, and she put all the ingredients in. She was so experienced, she knew how much, and she measured. So I made the mistake when I first started cooking on my own without her of not measuring. Oh, was that a mistake? So I had to measure, and now that I've been cooking on my own for 50 years, I don't really need to use measuring tools. I know what a pinch and a dash amounts to, and when I need a pinch and when I need a dash, and when I need to throw in more than a pinch or a dash. So I'm pretty seasoned in my seasoning at this point. Sometimes we can overdo it. If I'm cooking using a new recipe, for the first time, of course I'm going to use my measuring tools because I want to make sure I'm using the correct amount. Okay, now my olive oil is warm enough for my salmon. I'm just going to hand cup it right into, some people spoon drop, to each his own. But I don't want to make them very large. I don't want to make them very small. Since I did not use fresh salmon, the meat is already done. So I don't want to overcook it. And I didn't want my olive oil to get this hot, but it did. So now I've got to be very, very careful. Can't just drop it in there. I don't want to splatter it all over myself. But I'm looking forward to the deliciousness of it all. Yes, I'll let you see them when I finish. The final results will be revealed. As I finish this, even though I'm timing my cornbread, I may need to go over and put an eye on it to make sure that it's not cooking too fast. Okay, I'll have to cut the rest of this because it's sticking to the pan. A small amount, but it's worth it to get every drop. And of course my hands are clean. Voila. And as I like to rinse as I go. Oh, the cornbread looks good. I have the light on in the oven so that I can see what's in the oven. Can you see? Oh, it looks good. Now, I don't want it to get too hard, so when it's down to about maybe 3 minutes left, I will remove it from bake and place it on boil so the top can brown because I don't want it to get hard. And I will add butter to the top. So everything is getting ready now. And I wish you could smell the scallion and the salmon, that mixture. I'm going to turn it over, starting with the first one I placed into a saute and ending with the last one. Who remembers the last one? Yes, you're right. It was the tiny one. The little baby one. Sometimes I may have to flip it more than once. You'll get your own rhythm. And, you know, if you have to flip it more than once, that's okay. Okay. let's go over to the cornbread. And what I'd like to do is remove it from bake to broil. Let's try this. And I'm just going to use my margin stick. I have to turn off the bake, turn on the broil. Oh, it looks good. Smells very good. I'm going to put the butter on top and encourage it to brown a little faster so it won't get hardened or hard. Yes, it looks good. Feels good. Smells good. Looks good. Approximately 5 minutes on broil, and we are ready. That's right. I will move it from the top rack to the bottom. Five minutes, and we're good to go. Pause for that water break. Okay, let's see what the salmon are doing. They look good. We'll give it about 4 more minutes to saute and brown, and it should be ready. Are you having fun yet? Peeling, funning in the kitchen. Be unashamed as you peel. I like Margaret Holmes. You probably did too. That's what your mother's been using all this time. You thought was homemade when she was using Margaret Holmes? Return everything. My butter, scallion, baking powder for the cornbread. Keep an eye on that brown cornbread that only needs to brown for about 2 minutes. Maybe 5, and wow, that was so good. Okay, homemade cornbread, delicious, delicious. I'm not a big fan of the heat, so if you see me squinting a lot when I get close to it, once burned, don't get too close to the heat, you get burned. Scallions back in the fridge. Seasoning back in the seasoning cupboard. Large ones in the cupboard, small ones in the seasoning bowl. And the salmon are just about ready. Okay, I am preparing to remove the salmon from the heat. Yes, I have to check to make sure. Turn the utilities off. Oven is off. Ooh. Don't like the heat, don't like the heat. Told you about that. Oh, they look so good. And I'm sure they're going to taste even better. Thank you for tuning in. I'll talk to you a little later. Bye-bye.